Lars has been a hot topic of discussion in the Tekken community as of right now, especially since he received a huge buff a few weeks ago, and furthermore, in the upcoming 1.04 updates, Lars has seen little to no changes. So the question begs, does Lars need some nerfs as of right now? Well, I will give my thoughts at the end of the video, so please make sure you watch until the end. But before that, I want to discuss what Lars has right now that's very problematic and needs addressing. And one thing's for sure, people have realized just how strong our character is. I did say this at the beginning of Tekken 8, during the Tekken 8 beta, people are going to sleep on Lars at the beginning of the game. I did say this. Look at us now, bro, like look what's happening. Our character is cooking. So without further ado, let's talk about what needs to be fixed with Lars, and like I said, if he really deserves to be nerfed to the ground as well. So first, let's start with the obvious, DE3, DE3. This move was amazing at launch, it was amazing during the beta, during the alpha, and it's still amazing, but I don't understand for the life of me why this move was buffed. As a Lars main, I do accept the buff was very unnecessary, right? I'm not a fan of the direction that the game goes to, right? This throws me back to the Mayoko tweet about the Kazuya Hell Sweep. Why sidestep when you can just block, right? It's the same mentality with this buff to Lars DE3, and honestly I don't really like that, right? As a Lars player, we weren't really in the conversation of having busted moves or stuff that didn't have counterplay to them. So DE3 was only +3 at the beginning, right? The good thing about it is that DE3 to SE1 was a frame trap, legit frame trap. Like the component could not interrupt, they could power crash, of course, they would activate rage, they would hit burst out of it, but they could not press any other patterns. The counterplay to this was that you could actually sidestep SE1 after DE3, right? That was a counterplay to this. So you had to mix it up by throwing the homing move, which was SE4 or SE1+2, which actually had some decent tracking as well. So now the fact that they buffed this to +5 means that counterplay is no longer there, right? This completely nullifies every single option that the opponent has. They can still power crash, they can still activate hit, they can power crash out of it, but the problem is Lars has a low from this stance as well, SE2, which is a counter hit launcher, mind you, so you don't want to press buttons when Lars lands this DE3. So you guys see where I'm going with this, right? There is no counterplay to DE3 in terms of, you know, plus frames. What you want to press after he does that, you can sidestep. You just have to guess for your life or at least activate burst, right? But it's very risky because of the the SE2 low. I am not a huge fan of this, right? Just guessing games, man. It removes the essence of Tekken being a 3D game, right? That completely nullifies everything. There's no point in it. So I'm not a huge fan, and as the Lars main, I will admit. Now DE3 alone is a very strong move. This is without a doubt Lars' best move in my opinion. The range is absurd. It's a homing mid that's plus, and the range is absurd. Kind of like Hwoarang's what's it? Is it left flamingo or right stance down 4-3? That huge ass, long ass homing move. It's the same thing with Lars, except it's +5 and Hwoarang is +1. That's the difference, right? So there is no counterplay to this. You can float him out of this, but Lars does have DE1 too, which is a hit engager, NCC, and you can't actually react to DE12, right? So now if you jab, you're at the risk of getting hit by DE12, right? If you just block, you're holding his DE3. Like you can't react to this move. It's insane. With Oki, it's ridiculous. And yeah, this move, bro, it's it's doing a lot of work. Now in the patch 1.04 dev notes, they did say they'll try to buff defensive moves, something about improving sidesteps, lateral movement. So I'm expecting Namco to actually address this issue. The community was very vocal about this, and honestly I do agree. We love buffs as the Lars been, but let's not get buffs that are unreasonable, right? Let's be honest, man. We don't want Lars to have a bad reputation, right? Already drag is stained, Leroy has been stained, it's just recovering. We don't want this stain on Lars. So by all means, nerf DE3, make it -3 again, sorry, make it +3 again, and I think that would be a huge enough nerf. So next, I want to talk about Lars' Orbital, specifically after his 2-1. For some reason, 2-1 into Orbital will completely crash down forward 1. Now this one clearly was not intended, right? We saw this report on Twitter, I think by Rangchu. He followed in the T8 report, hashtag T8 report. So this one was not intended. And actually had no idea about this. I haven't abused this anyhow because I haven't been in rank in I think a month now, about 2 weeks or so. But like this one, you can see it's not intended, and and Orbital having a crushing property, I mean, bro, let's leave that to Brad. We don't need this as a last main, right? So this will completely crush certain mids, I think 13 and 14 frame mids, as you can see here from my demonstration, right? But it only happens specifically after 2-1 into limited entry, cancel into up forward 4. I don't know for whatever reason, but it just happened. So like I said, this one is more so of a bug, and I know for sure it will be addressed. I'm surprised they have nothing on the 1.04 update. It's still there, at least from what I understand. Maybe to be ghost nerfed, but hopefully we'll see. But yeah, this one definitely not intended. It has to go. It's, yeah, crushing, going under mids is never a fun thing. I'm looking at you, shall you? Okay, and lastly, let's talk about the infamous up forward 3+4 the Akuma flip that's been terrorizing ranked, bro. This move is ridiculous, and there's a time I actually faced a Lars player as well in TEKKEN Gold rank. I'm currently TEKKEN Gold, so I met a very strong Lars player as well, and at the time I had no idea that up forward 3+4 was an insane move. Like, it had crushing properties, it went under so many mids, so I was surprised. This bro kept on spamming the same thing, bro. Like, what? And then I saw the complaints on Twitter. I was like, bro, is this move really that bad? And yeah, this move is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It has Akuma crushing properties, basically Akuma's flip, but you know, Lars version. It will never go over the opponent. Lars will always stay the same side if he flips, you know, in front of the opponent, no matter what, no matter the range, right? So that's the difference between this version and the TEKKEN 7 version. And as you can see, it goes under mostly slow mids, right? I think down forward 1 into down forward 1 will clip him, but slower mids, as you can see from here, are going to get crushed, bro. Like, this is some Akuma stuff. So yeah, this move is ridiculous. Like, it's crazy how, dude, like, I had no idea this move was this toxic, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. This needs to be fixed. Like, the crushing, man, like, just make the move unsafe. They can keep the crushing, in my opinion, but just make the move unsafe. Maybe like -14 or something, because this should be solely used for combos, at least as it was intended from the trailer in the properties of the move. But like, no one likes random crushing moves in TEKKEN, and it's not fun. So as much as I would keep this, I just say make it unsafe, or yeah, just make it not crush as much. But like, bro, like, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It needs to be fixed. Now, the biggest problem with this move, apart from the crushing, is the tracking is horrible. Like, don't get me wrong, the tracking is very, very horrible. But the thing is, in TEKKEN 8, remember, throws track both sides in this game. And Lars has a throw from up forward 3+4 from the flip. He has up forward 3+4, 1+2, and this throw tracks both sides. So now, sidestepping is not a solid counterplay against this move, right? It is very linear, and you catch him a few times, but like, he has this throw. And remember, counter 8 throws are strong right now. I'm quite right before the 1.04 update. But like, just the fact that you don't really have a counterplay to this is ridiculous, you know. But like I said, 1.04 update is coming. I don't think throws will be that strong anymore. Counter throws have been nerfed, now have more whiff recovery, so this might be easier to deal with in the next update. But like, I still don't see why this move should be crushing that many mids. So for me, these are the 3 biggest problems that Lars has right now that needs to be addressed ASAP. So are these the only issues that Lars currently has that need addressing? As of right now, I believe yes. Lars is not the biggest problem in this game, and honestly, Namco have been heading in the right direction after seeing this 1.04 update. Dragonov, June, Azucena, Feng, you know, these characters needed to be hit. They needed to be hit, and they needed to be hit hard, right? So like I said back in the day, right, until the top tiers get nerfed, that's when these characters will start shining. Characters like Lars, characters like Shaheen, man, characters are so slept in this game, it's ridiculous. Lars, Shaheen, Law, right, Claudio, these characters are good, but the fact that there's just so many busted characters in this game, like Nina as well, these characters haven't really been on the spotlight. So I don't think Lars is an issue right now, except for these 3 problems. Like I said, he does have counterplay to him. You can always sidestep. He's a very linear character. The only thing that doesn't really have counterplay apart from these 3 issues is his limited entry mix-ups. LE1 and LE2 have 360 degrees tracking. I'll make a video on this, but I think it's intended. They wanted to make Lars like a very, very strong mix-up heavy character in stance, so I think they did intend to make his LE moves track both sides. So that's the only part of his kit that doesn't really have counterplay apart from these 3 issues that I have brought up in the video. So with that said, there are so many other characters in this game that don't have that sort of counterplay. They have amazing tracking, so many busted moves, right? Their hit abilities are ridiculous. Everything else hits hard, like power crushes, high safe hit engager power crushes, all that stuff. Lars does not have that luxury. So no, Lars does not deserve any more nerfs outside of these three. So if you enjoyed my video, please check out my other Lars stuff and consider subbing and subscribing, and yeah, GG my boys, may the Terminator be ever in your favor.